Schmackamagaab, everybody. Hey, I got a donation from Chris Van Uden from the Netherlands. And to be honest with you, Chris, when I saw your donation, I was like, oh, man. I just don't like the Black Crowes. Now, let me explain why. And don't think, well, let me just explain why. Look. When they first came out and bust on the scene with, you know, a pretty little thing, let me light your candle, and I was like, I don't care for it. Then the next album comes out, and they release a song called Remedy. And I was like, that's a good tune. I dig it. And on that tour, my brother got free tickets to go see the Black Crowes at Sunrise Musical Theater, and I liked Remedy. So I said, all right, I'll go check it out. I want to hear them play Remedy. And so I go to the show, and they didn't play Remedy. And it's that tour. It was the single at the time. It was the weirdest thing. And the guitar player, Rich Robinson, I think his name is, looked so bored that at one point of the show, he just went to the amp and put like his shoulder on it, like, I don't want to be here. And it was a real crappy show. And I was like, wow, that was not good. So I never liked Black Crowes after that. I was like, oh, screw that band. They didn't play Remedy, man. Well, so as you can tell, I wasn't looking forward to do this. But, you know, I grabbed my pen and paper, looked up both albums on YouTube, listened to them thoroughly, took notes. Now, I got to say, this is some good stuff, man. Boy, was I wrong. Never really looked that much into it. But I really ended up enjoying most of it, not all of it. So, here we go, Chris. All right. First song is Twice as Hard versus Sting Me. Now, I remember Twice as Hard. I never heard this Sting Me song. And I'm listening to it today. And I'm going, man, this ain't bad. It's an alright tune. Ain't bad. And then I put on Sting Me, and I was like, damn, this is even better. I liked it a lot, actually. So I'm going to give that one to Sting Me. Oh, and by the way, I'm doing the first two albums. First one's called Shake Your Moneymaker. The other one's called The Southern Harmony and Musical Companion. All right, then next is Jealous Again. Now, I kind of remember that, and it still didn't do much for me. Against the song I always liked, Remedy. And I was like, yeah, Remedy, for sure. Next is Sister Luck. I liked it. It's like a cool, chill tune. And that one's going against Thorn in My Pride. Same thing. It's a nice, chill tune, but you know what? I'm going to barely give it to Sister Luck. I like that one a little more. Next, Could I've Been So Blind? Did not do much for me. This one I didn't like. Against Bad Luck, Blue Eyes Goodbye. You know, I don't like bluesy tunes, especially when you're, you know, it's like, I just don't like songs that are bluesy. There are exceptions, and one of those exceptions is this song. It's awesome. I was like, see, that is the type of bluesy stuff that connects with me. And it doesn't happen often. Believe me, it's very rare. And I gotta say, this Bad Luck, Blue Eyed Goodbye was killer, man. It was really, really good. So I'm gonna give it to that one. Next one is called Seeing Things. See? This is what I'm talking about. Here's another bluesy one. Does nothing for me. See, that's what I mean. I was like, listen to that one and then listen to, and you can tell which kind of bluesy stuff I like. What's that going against? Sometimes Salvation. And this one is kind of bluesy. Not that much, and I really liked it. So I'm going to give it to that one. Another one for the Southern Harmony of Musical Companion and Musical Companion. What's next? Hard to Handle. Yeah, that song's hard to handle for me. I still don't like it. And that's their big hit. Here in the States, they're Chris from the Netherlands. Over here, that song blew up, and I just, and I still feel the same way about it. And yes, I know it's a cover. Going against Hotel Illness. Not my thing. I didn't like it, but I still put it over Hard to Handle. Next, Thick and Thin. It's rocking. It's not bad. It's not great. It's kind of like in between. And that one's going against Black Moon Creeping. This one is just bad. So I'm going to give it to Thick and Thin. Next, She Talks to Angels. You know, there's another one I knew. And I never liked it. And listening to it today in the context of listening to all these Black Crow songs, kind of got it a little more. I was like, okay, it's not that bad. Many years later, I think it's a decent tune. I mean, you know, I won't go out and buy it, but, you know, I think it's a decent tune. And that goes against No Speak, No Slave. Love it. Rockin'. Win. That one wins. It's a rockin' and a rollin', man. And all right, next is Stutter Blues. Cool tune. It's got that classic rock vibe. It's not really bluesy. It's not to my ears. Like a good classic rock tune. Going against The Morning Song. I like that one even more. So I'm going to give it to that. All right, the last tune. Stare It Cold. It's okay. It's an okay tune. Against Time Will Tell. It's not okay. I don't think it's an okay tune. So it loses. So I'm going to give that to Stare It Cold. Now, Shake Your Moneymaker got 3. And the Southern Harmony and Musical Companion got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And let me tell you something, Chris. I'm buying that second one. I think the second one was way better than the first one. And I'm telling you, I'm impressed. I never liked the Black Crowes, especially, you know, I know it had a lot to do with the singles that didn't do much for me back then, and then seeing them do a half-ass performance like they didn't want to be there. And I'm sure they're a great live band, but the night I saw them, they were not. They were going through the motions. They didn't care, especially that guitar player. It was one of the worst shows I ever saw in my life. So you add all that together, it made me extremely biased. You know, like, screw the Black Crowes. And never, anytime anything would pop up on Black Crowes, I don't want to hear it, you know? Well, I thank you, Chris, because you just turned me on to something that I always hated. And that only happened one time before on these donations, and that was The Clash. Always hated, man, I hated The Clash even more than the Black Crowes. And I never even saw them live. And that probably had a lot to do with Mick Jones, like, being high on guitar players' lists. I guess it was Rolling Stone magazine, over Eddie Van Halen. I was like, get the hell out of here. But London Calling, and I've since gotten given enough rope. Good stuff, man. But this second Black Crowes album, I need to get it. It's awesome. And I thank you, my friend. And I thank you for the donation, bro. And hope everything's good over there in the Netherlands, man. So stay safe, man. And if anybody out there wants to donate, I got a PayPal in the description below. And please subscribe to my channel if you have not. So stay frosty. Listen to Black Sabbath and smack 'em a gobba.